Alright, we got some extra cinema today. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, baby! So Sonic the Hedgehog was a pretty big staple in my childhood. When I was a little kid, my babysitter had a Sega Genesis, and she had the original Sonic game, and my sister and I would play it all the time. Then we got Sonic Adventures 2 and Sonic Heroes, both of which were games I played all the time as a kid. Then time went on, and I forgot Sonic ever happened. And then the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie came out, and it was about as fine as a movie could get. It's fine. A little boring, not really all that funny. It's fine.
Pending background check. Pause in the air.
Meow?
But now we got Sonic 2. Dear Lord, Sonic 2. The first Sonic movie might be a bit boring, but Sonic 2 is anything but boring. This thing is nuts, and I don't mean that in a way like Fury Road was nuts. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has some of the most bizarre references, jokes, callbacks, and needle drops I've heard in quite some time. I was flabbergasted, and you know what? I had a fucking blast. I may have given this a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd, but make no mistake, this movie rules, and I already have plans to see it again. Look, this movie is absolutely ridiculous, and it's obvious that it knows that it's ridiculous, and it's trying to be ridiculous. Well, guess what? Guess who has the exact same sense of humor that this movie contains? That's right, this guy. I was laughing pretty hard throughout this whole thing because of the absurdity of it all. If this had come out when I was like 10 years old, this would have been my favorite movie of all time. I don't think I'm kidding. First off, they let Jim Carrey be Jim Carrey, and he's in this more than he was in the first one. Now, he does floss, and yes, it is cringe, there's your warning, but then you get shit like his first joke, in which he's in a mushroom planet, and he just screams out, "Let's get out of this piece of shit-toggy planet!" And for some reason, I couldn't stop laughing. It's the stupidest joke I may have ever heard, but you know what? That's my specialty, okay? Okay. He's way more energized and funnier here than he was in the first movie. But you want to know who else steals every scene he's in? Take a guess. It's the guy that plays Jim Carrey's assistant, Lee Majdoub. Yeah, I know. There's a really weird running joke in which he's like in love with Jim Carrey to a point of obsession, and for some reason it's funny every single time. His first scene involves a latte, and ends with him making his best Stevie T face, and I actually burst out laughing in the theater. I think I was the only one laughing, but I don't give a shit, it was hilarious. This guy's facial expressions and energy are fucking gold. I want to see him in more comedies. Whenever Jim Carrey and Lee Majdoub are together, it's legit comedy gold, and thankfully, they're in the movie a lot. It's absurdist, awkward humor, and they pull it off perfectly. There's a lot more funny, absurd jokes here, like one that involves Sonic and Tails at a bar, one that involves a Limp Bizkit reference, I'm not kidding, one that involves a wedding that makes no sense, but by far, the most bizarre decision that this movie makes is the fact that there's a fucking Pantera needle drop. Yes, the Cowboys from Hell themselves, the heavy metal band, Pantera. That's not the song they play, by the way, they play Walk. Very few movie scenes have ever left me with my jaw hitting the floor, but that did it. I was huge into metal when I was in middle school. Here are some pictures of 14-year-old me to prove it. I'm not really into metal anymore, and yes, I did listen to Pantera back in the day, but whose fucking idea was it to put Walk by Pantera, a song about beating the living shit out of someone, in a children's movie? Please tell me who it is so I can gladly kiss you. It is the greatest needle drop of all time. What is it with cartoons and heavy metal music? First, Daffy Duck apparently likes Megadeth. Yes, that's a real thing, look it up. Now Pantera is in a Sonic movie. And apparently they did music for a SpongeBob episode too. What the fuck? What's next? Does the Scooby-Doo gang listen to Cannibal Corpse now? Like, what the fuck? But aside from all that, the movie actually looks pretty great visually. Sonic looks better than he did in the first one, and the writing effects, especially for the action scenes, are very well done. This might sound weird, but you actually kind of feel his speed in the movie, and the action sequences are meant to feel like some kind of roller coaster. I genuinely had a lot of fun with this movie. Tails is adorable, but unfortunately their character is pretty forgettable. They never really have their highlight moment, if you know what I mean. Knuckles is genuinely really funny, and Idris Elba actually plays him a bit too well. He reminds me a lot of Drax, except not as funny as Drax, but still funny. The problems, however, lie between the human characters that aren't Jim Carrey, Lee Majdoub, and Adam Pally. They're pretty boring. I'm sorry, James Marsden is not that good in this movie, and I know he's a talented guy, but in this movie he's given nothing to do. If he wasn't Sonic's guardian, then there'd be no point to have him in the movie. He doesn't really have many jokes, he has no highlight moments, he's just kinda there. While I do think this movie is pretty funny, there are some cringe jokes, mostly involving Gen X stuff. Jim Carrey flosses like I said earlier, and I actually could not look at the screen, I couldn't do it. This movie is over 2 hours long for some reason, and there are scenes that are so incredibly pointless and could have been cut out. For the most part, you know how this is gonna play out, minus a few things. But this movie makes up for it with all the ridiculousness that it entails. It is so much fun. They did not give a shit, they wanted absolute absurdity, and that's what we got. The children will love it too. No matter what I say, the children are gonna floss their way into the theater, and then when Sonic appears on screen, they're gonna say "lit" and start dabbing all at once. Sure, I recommend this movie. I'm not kidding, aside from Werewolves Within, this might be my favorite video game movie. But we all know that's not saying much. I'm just as shocked as you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here are my socials if you want to connect with me. And I got a review for Ambulance coming pretty soon. As well as a little surprise coming at the end of the week. Alrighty, bye bye.